Okay, so we're recording. So welcome everybody to our Seventh Heaven Protocol Zoom. My name is Christi Collins, and I'm a Diamond Leader with Young Living, and I'm just an oil lover. I don't know how anyone's getting through life right now without them, frankly. And I was going to be doing this class in my private group for my team because we've been going through this protocol on our Facebook group. And I realized, you know what, this needs to go to everybody. These oils, these blends have to go to everybody. So just decided to open it up to all of you. And we'll send out the recording for those who aren't on live with us too. I actually would love to do a quick little poll here and see who we've got here with us, because that will help me know whether I'm going to skim past things or spend a little more time with them. So if you don't mind just giving me a little vote here in this poll, letting me know, just like maybe you've never even used oils before, maybe you use oils but you've never heard or tried the Seventh Heaven Protocol. Maybe you use oils and you've tried it and you love it. I would just love to know where you guys stand. We got a lot of votes in the middle. Okay, so we have tons of oil users. Wow, you guys. Wow, look at all these people that have never done this protocol before. So exciting, so exciting. It's kind of one of these like secrets. It's like these best kept secrets within Young Living. I'm really surprised that it hasn't gotten out to more people. Well, we're gonna make that happen today. Everyone's gonna know Seventh Heaven after today. So we have one person who's never used Young Living oils before. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're gonna get like a crash course today. I'll throw in a little bit of info for you, just for you. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna end the poll, and you guys could probably see it, but I'll share the results. That's where we ended up. Okay, it's kind of what I was thinking, but I just wanted to see. Okay, here's the moment of truth. I'm going to try and share my screen, and we shall see how that goes. Jill, this is all this is all you. Okay. Okay, popping over to Canva. Just move you guys over here. Okay, and Jill, it's gonna work. Watch this. This is so working. There. Can you guys see? Can you guys see okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can see. Awesome. Okay. Cool. I'm actually not going to look at the chat, even though Jill helped me figure out how to do that, because I will get distracted and I will squirrel, and then we'll be on here for way too long. So save your questions for the end. Just I will go back and I will answer all questions at the end. I have such mad respect for this protocol. So much mad respect, because, and if you can mute yourself, that would be great. I think everyone should have been muted, but I'm going to let you guys mute yourself. We are all adults here. We can do that. So this is a protocol. I claim no credit for this. This came from Gary Young. This came from the founder of Young Living. He had this magical way of not only creating oil blends, but then putting them together in this amazing order. And all a protocol is really is just like it's just a way of using the oils, right? So it might be a certain order of using the oils. It might be putting certain oils on certain body parts. Don't be intimidated by that. Just because I'm going to be sharing with you a protocol of how to do these different oils, you can mix them up and change it up. If you don't like the protocol, I suggest do it your own way, okay? We all can create our own protocols with any oils, with any supplements, with any health or emotional challenge that we're going through. So just know that this is a suggestion today, but this is not the only way to use these oils. Also, I'm not here to diagnose, prescribe, treat, or cure. I'm not a doctor. I'm a mom. I love using oils with my kids, with my husband. My dog is the only one in the household who doesn't seem to love oils, and I just don't know why that ever could have possibly happened, but that's it. So I'm just here to share with you kind of what I've done and what I love. Okay, these are the oils lined up right here. These are the ones that we're going to be using for the protocol. So if you have any of these handy, even if it's just one or two of them, grab them, bring them here, because you can just do them when it comes time to do that part of it. What I want to do is just share with you a little bit about how I came into this protocol. my experiences with it. I want to do a quick, for that one person who's here, and in case this ever goes out to somebody who's never used oils before, I'm going to do a quick little like primer on oils real fast. Then we're going to go through each of the oils in the protocol one after the other. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about how to use them. We're going to talk about emotions that they're attached to. And then at the very end, we're going to go through the protocol from start to finish. So I'm going to be doing it twice. I'm going to be putting the oils on as we talk about them, and then I'm going to do it all in one fell swoop at the end. So you can decide if you want to do it twice too. At the very end, I'll just talk to you about different options of things, of ways you can use it if doing the whole protocol all at once is not going to work for you. And then if you don't have oils yet, we'll talk about how you can get them. So does that sound good? I'm looking at our faces here. Awesome. Okay. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about the people and the hearts and souls behind this protocol for me personally, because Young Living is a community of the most amazingly generous, kind, loving people that I have ever met. And without them, we would not be here on this Zoom today. So I want to share with you about first Gail Ann. She's up in the top left picture with me. Gail Ann was my mentor for many years in Young Living. She had the kindest heart, and she also could see into your soul. You know, she just knew. So I was having a conversation with her once. It was about, I think we were talking about business, and I was kind of stuck. And I was like, I just feel like I just don't know what I'm doing. Like, this is just not working. I don't know. And she let me blab on for a while. And then she said, you know, Christy, have you ever heard of the Seventh Heaven Protocol? And I'm like, no, what is that? Like, I always get so excited when I hear new oil stuff, right? Like, what is it? Can it help me? And she said, well, it used to be a kit way back when that Young Living sold with these 7 blends together. And it's no longer sold as a kit, but you can get them individually. And she said, I'm going to send you a little recording so you can hear Gary Young talking about this. And you may just want to try it. So I was like, okay, this helps me get unstuck. I'll try it. So I got the oils and I started doing the protocol, and she was right. My emotions shifted really amazingly. And I wish I could say I did it regularly after that, but sometimes when you get into a really great space, you kind of forget what got you there. And so I forgot about Seventh Heaven for a couple of years until we move over to the picture on the top right. I was in Sedona with Joanna Malone and Celeste McLean, who are 2 of the most amazing souls on the planet. And we were creating this collaborative business training for our team. And one of the things we decided to do was we were going to have everybody identify a challenge or something that they're working through that they kind of wanted to just solve once and for all. And so we had people working on all different things. We had them working on physical things and emotional things. And what we did was we encouraged them to create their own protocol, right? Like empower them to create their own protocol to help move them through whatever they were journeying through and come out on the other side. And so that's when the Seventh Heaven popped into my head again, because my challenge that I was working through at that time, this was about 3 years ago, I think, I was down in the dumps. Like I was in a really, really dark night of the soul kind of a place. Like I was like, what am I doing here? This makes no sense. Like I had no passion. I had no joy. I was like, it was a struggle to get out of bed in the morning. It was really hard. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to work on that. Like, that's not how I want my life to be. That's not me. Something's off. And so I said, I'm going to use the Seventh Heaven protocol. That's going to be my protocol for this journey. We called the training the Vortex. It was awesome. It was so great. And so I used that. And I want to really be clear that it's not like these bottles of oils are, they're not like, what they're doing is they're allowing your own body to tap into your own knowingness. They're assisting your body in saying, oh, wait a minute, I've not been listening to myself. I have been listening to everything else and everyone else out there. And these little bottles somehow allow you to tap into you. That's what this protocol does for me. It brings me back to me. And that's what happened. The first little message I got from them was, you need to paint your bedroom. And I was like, what? Like, that's so crazy. But I was like, okay. So I painted my bedroom by myself. It took me like 5 days. It was so hard. It's not really well done, but it's done. And that was the start to sparking my joy and my passion again. And then they're like, hey, you know, that message you got from that lady that you don't know, mentioning that thing about this, you should ask her about that. I'm like, okay. So I asked her about that, got some information that literally shifted my entire emotional state in an instant. So that's what this protocol has done for me. Why I'm so excited to share it with you. The picture on the bottom is from our 30A trip that we had. A group of us got together in Florida a few weeks ago, and learning from all of them and their hearts and how generous they are in sharing their information in their classes with Young Living was what made me realize, you know, I could do this class for my Sparkle Crew team in my private group, and I could keep it there where it feels really safe to me and feels really easy and comfortable. Or I could do what all these other ladies do on a regular basis, which is open it up to everybody. And so the reason we're all here today is because of all those ladies on the beach, because they've invited me to classes. They've allowed me to open up, to bring my team to their classes. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And so I was like, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and do this. So all those people there are really important, because that's what brought this class here. And you came today because you were important. And there was something inside you that said, I need to be here. So I'm so glad that you're here. And let's just jump in. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know essential oils, I'm going to give you a quick little fast primer. What are they? They are basically little bottles of plant power, plant juice. They've been used for thousands of years. They come from all different parts of the plant. They come from the flowers, they come from the roots, they come from the bark, they come from the rind, they come from trees, they come from shrubs. And I look outside right now, and I'm in Boston, and yesterday it was like 75 degrees, and today it's like 30 and windy. It was torrential rains last night. It'll probably be like beating down sun tomorrow. Like, the weather is just so crazy. And these plants, like these trees and these bushes, these gorgeous forsythia bushes, like they just keep on keeping on. They're like, bring it on. Like they don't care what is thrown at them, because they can adapt. They have this innate power to keep themselves thriving. And that's what I believe is really bottled into here. Not just the physical thriving, but the way that the plants energetically and emotionally as living beings thrive. So there are hundreds of organic natural compounds that are found in every single bottle of essential oil. And when we get to use them synergistically with our body, magic happens. So how do we use essential oils? There's 3 ways. In fact, I just realized I have to turn my diffuser on. Hold on. That was silly. It kind of worked. And also what's kind of silly is my nose runs every time I teach a class. So don't mind me as I blow my nose. Okay, so 3 ways. Aromatically, this is when we just can open up a bottle and just even smell an oil, right? We can put it in a diffuser, which is just it's a machine that sends the oil molecules out into the air and disperses them to clean our home, to create an emotional response to the smell. So aromatically just means we can smell them, right? Topically is the second way. So topically, we might take an oil like, you know, I had the CBD calm roller. So there are essential oils in here. So I might rub this topically on my body, or I might put one of Young Living's massage oils topically on my body. I use their skincare, which has essential oils in it topically. So not only can we use oils, but we can use all of Young Living's 600 plus products that have oils in them. Many of them can be used topically. The last way is internally. So sometimes you'll see people taking the Vitality essential oils and putting a drop under their tongue. They might put them in empty veggie capsules. They might swallow them down like a supplement. You might take one of Young Living's pre-made supplements like Inner Defense, and that's got the oils in them. And some people are, I'm not great with this, but some people love to cook with their oils, their Vitality oils. They'll put them in smoothies or brownies or salad dressings. So 3 different ways to use them, and today we're going to be mostly focusing on the first 2, aromatic and topical. Okay, seed to seal. We're going to talk a lot about why this is important as we continue on. You're going to be like, oh yes, this makes sense. Not all oils are created equal, right? So when I first started using oils, I was using ones from the grocery store. They had really nice labels on them. The words said all the right things to make me think, oh, these are really like, they're good quality, right? Then I started learning about oils, and it was kind of like the breakthrough I had when I was learning to become a health coach. And all of a sudden I started reading food labels, and I started learning about how food labels are so wonky and you have to be really smart with those. Same thing with essential oils. You have to know where your oils come from, because a lot of companies will adulterate their oils to make them really cheap, right? That's where you find, rose oil for $20 a bottle. Sorry, that's not rose oil. It's not rose oil. So they will adulterate them. They will add fillers. They will add synthetics. They will add perfumes, different smells to make them smell really nice, but they have completely changed all those, all those organic natural compounds that create the synergistic effect in our bodies. They've completely changed those. They've taken them out. That oil is no longer like full-blown, powerful, power intact plant power anymore. It just might smell okay, but it's not going to actually do the things we want them to do. So when I came to choose oils for my family, after I started getting more educated, I chose Young Living because of their seed to seal promise. They're the only oil company that has this promise that from the seed that goes into the ground, and actually even before that with the soil in the ground and the water being used, all the way through to the bottling, the testing, the sealing of the bottle, there is a quality guarantee. So I've been able to go to a lot of the farms. How many of you guys who are here have been to a Young Living farm? Put in the chat. I would love to be able to see, like, put in the chat if you've been to a farm, which one you went to, and just maybe like one word that described how it felt to be there on the farm, or something that you noticed, something that really stood out to you as being really special about the Young Living farms. You can see the pictures here. This one's of me in the clary sage fields in Mona. Then we've got all the little seedling starts up at the top. And we've got Gary Young, who's our founder, the pioneer of Young Living, where he loved to be the most amongst all the plants. So when you're using oils the way we're going to be using them, you want them to be premium quality essential oils with nothing added and nothing taken away, because that's the way that you create the magic. All right, I've totally skipped past my first 2 pages of notes. So actually, let's just talk about why it's important with what we're going to be doing today, because this protocol is about, it's about tapping into emotions and bringing up the very best emotions that you can have in yourself. So there's this part of your brain called the limbic system. And the limbic system is where your emotions and your memory and your trauma are housed. So we know that emotions and traumas can actually be kind of passed generationally. So it might be why you might experience some of the same emotional challenges as your parents did, or as your grandparents did. So the cool thing about the limbic system is that it can't actually really be accessed by sight, sound, or touch. Okay, so do you know that the only way you can access your emotions in your limbic system is through the sense of smell, right? Gosh, wouldn't it be cool to have something that could smell good or bad, or just smell, and that could be small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier to get into the limbic system to access emotions? That would be so cool if we had something like that, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh. I'm so cheesy right now. I don't know where that came from, you guys. That was so cheesy. Sorry. Anyway, we have oils, essential oil molecules. I'm going to stop being cheesy. I did not, that was a weird thing. Anyway, essential oil molecules are small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier to get into the limbic system, to access those emotions, memory, and trauma, and to actually like go to work on them. And here's the thing, like you can go to years and years of, therapy, and you can sit there and talk about it, and like you can start to unwind and unravel and like dig into all these things and spend all this time and all this money. And she's like, oh, it can go on forever and ever, right? Like, why do I act that way? What am I bringing from my childhood that was traumatic and all that? You can do all that. Or you can just let the oils kind of just do what they do. And it's for me, it feels a little bit more effortless, just a little easier. It's not quite as hard work for me. So that's why I like it, because I'm a little bit, I don't have to do all the hard work. I don't want to do all the hard work. So what else? Am I missing anything? So as we smell these oils today, I just want you to know that they're actually going in and they're going to work. And if we're going to have oils that are working on the limbic system of our brain, we want to have them be as high quality as possible, which is the only reason that I will use Young Living essential oils. Okay, so this is the protocol we're going to start going through. How are we doing on time? Perfect. Okay, so if you have these oils, pull them out. These are some of the things I've noticed that this protocol does. It's helped me feel unstuck. It's helped me kind of clear a path again where I was feeling like I didn't know where I was going. It's helped me get into a space where I can start to see a new path. It's helped me dream again, even from spaces where I felt like, oh my gosh, like what is there even to think about or hope for? It's helped me dream again. And it's helped me tap into my own knowingness and my own sacredness. And boy, oh boy, do I think that the whole world needs this right now. I mean, really, as I was going back through these oils, I was just like, oh man, if this could be the thing that we just had everyone start doing, we'd be in a whole different place. So it's been a rough year for everybody. And I hope that this, where's my white angelica? There it is. I hope that this serves you guys. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with our very first oil, Sacred Mountain. So grab your Sacred Mountain. Oh man, this one to me, if you put into a bottle the feeling and the smell of someone hugging a tree, that's what this is. Sacred Mountain. It's very grounding. It's a more masculine smelling oil. It's not like that sweet florally. It's very earthy and tree-like. Black spruce, ylang-ylang, grand fir, cedarwood. It's just fabulous. This one helps you to feel really safe, protected, and secure. And right now, I know a lot of people feel very uncertain and ungrounded and unsafe in their world. So this is going to be your new best friend. Gary created this one because Gary Young loved to be in the mountains. He loved to be riding his horses. He loved to be just out away from people and out in nature. And then as he started building Young Living, and all of a sudden he found himself having to be at the corporate offices and having to be, in cities doing trainings and meetings and with all these people. And he created this to remind himself of the feeling of being out in the mountains, that feeling of being quiet, the feeling of being grounded. So if you are feeling like maybe you're stuck in a home and you can't get out, maybe you're in lockdown, you can't get out to the mountains, you can't get out to the woods, you can't get out and hike, you're feeling claustrophobic in your apartment, Sacred Mountain, pull it out, diffuse it, use it all the time. If you feel like you're just having trouble kind of tapping back into yourself, this is a great one for that. It enables the lungs to expand and contract and breathe more deeply and freely, especially in times of stress. That's going to be helpful right now, right? Helpful information to have. So you could put this on your, there's so many different places you could put this. I'm actually going to put this a little bit over my chest, just after reminding myself about the whole lung thing. But I actually really love to put this on my brainstem. So when I do this protocol, I will take Sacred Mountain and I will put it right in that spot where your neck meets your skull, like right in that notch. And I'll just rub it down my neck a little bit too, and just smell it in. And remember, this protocol, just because it says on there apply to brainstem, does not mean that's what you have to do. If you say, Christy, I want to apply it over my heart or on my lower back, just do what you feel called to do. So some of the emotions, if you guys don't have this book, this is really helpful. Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils by Dr. Carolyn Main. And maybe somebody could put that book in the comments. Carolyn Main, it's M-E-I-N. Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils. So this book I love because anytime I have an emotion that I'm kind of like, maybe I could work myself out of this emotion with something, I will go to that book and I'll look up the emotion and then I'll look up the oil that's attached to it and kind of the part of the body to apply it to, and it's fascinating. So I went to the book and I was looking up the emotions for each of the oils in this protocol, and the emotions that are tied to Sacred Mountain are, these are crazy. Listen to these. Being part of the mass consciousness, compromising yourself, fear of hearing, fear of speaking out, fear of the unknown, and injustice. Yes, check. Like all those make so much sense, right? So those are some of the emotions that this is working on. And on a side note that has nothing to do with emotions, I love to use this as a deodorant. If you put Sacred Mountain and grapefruit together and put it under your armpits, it's a really good, I don't know, it just works with my body scent. Maybe it won't with yours, but I love those two together. They're so good. So that's the first oil in the protocol. I usually put it on the brainstem, but you can put it wherever you want. So I'd love to know in the chat if you guys can comment, like what did you notice after using Sacred Mountain? What have you even felt a shift even just from that one oil? What did the smell bring up for you? Let me know. Tell me what you think. Okay, next one is inspiration. So inspiration is awesome to use if you're uptight, if you're tense, if you're irritable, if things feel too intense, right? So that's kind of all of us probably a lot of the time these days, or I'll speak for myself. That's me a lot of the time these days. Inspiration is one of those, think of it. I mean, these oils are named these names for a reason. So when you think of inspiration, what does that mean? Well, this is when I'm trying to seek some kind of messaging, some kind of like guidance, something to help me know what to do, where to go. So inspiration kind of lets you reach way back into the deep recesses of your mind where you might not typically go when you're just in like day-to-day kind of a stuff. It gets you in a space where you can really be humbled and say, okay, what is it that I need to know? So this is great to use during meditation. It's great to use during prayer. It's great to use anytime in your yoga practice, whenever you're in a space where you're trying to quiet yourself so you can get guidance. Inspiration stimulates your knowingness, which helps you connect with your own higher power first. And so that then you can communicate from others in a much stronger and more neutral space. I want to tell you what Gary Young said. And actually, let's put this on first, and so we can let it work. So crown of the head for inspiration. So I kind of just part my hair, and then I'm just going to let it drip in, and then I just let it I kind of move my head around. Celeste McLean taught me this, just like move the head around so it kind of goes all over there, right? So a lot of our inner guidance comes in through the crown of our head, right through there. So then you can massage it in if you want, right? Get it really in there. And as you're doing that, I'm going to tell you what Gary said. Gary Young said, the oils themselves don't cause us to be spiritual or want to pray. Oils stimulate the mind and create feelings that bring us to the space of inner peace and doing what is right. Oils work like a knob on a radio. They help us tune into those higher frequencies, particularly for communication. If pure, the oils will also work like an amplifier and a transmitter of frequencies. If you're using an adulterated or synthetic or low-grade oil, he says, it will produce a lower frequency and tune you into lower frequencies in the spiritual realm, information that may not be beneficial or directional for you. So again, this is why the quality of the oils, why using Young Living oils is so important, because we're all energy, we're all frequency. We look like we're solid, but we're not, we're actually all energy. So when we're bringing energy into our space, we want it to be as high as possible. Okay, so the emotions that are associated with inspiration are fatigue, feeling paralyzed, and feeling sluggish. So if that's you, inspiration is going to be one to take a peek at. Now, you can't really get inspiration right now, and I know people were freaking out about that. So I asked my Florida buddies, and they gave us a DIY inspiration. So if you aren't able to access inspiration right now, you might want to screenshot this, and you can make your own. While you guys are screenshotting, I'm also going to share some oils that kind of just popped into my mind when I was thinking, if I didn't have inspiration and if I wasn't in a DIY mood, what would I use? So we're thinking about pulling information in, getting inspired. So what do you guys think? Pop in the chat. Like I'm curious to see if you guys are thinking some of the same things I'm thinking. Hold on, I want to actually see the chat so I can see. So what would you use? What oil or blend would you use if you didn't have inspiration? So One Heart. Oh, I love One Heart. One Heart is so nice. Clarity, Envision. Gary's Light, nice. Yeah, I had Magnify Your Purpose as well, Julia. That was one I had. I had Envision as well. Higher Unity, who said that? Sunshine, yes, I had Higher Unity as well. Highest Potential, Krista said, yep, that was one of mine. Live your passion. Yes, I didn't bring that, but live your passion was on my list. Yes. Into the future could be a fun one. Oh, build your dream. Build your dream is really nice. Even something like motivation, right? Because sometimes if we get motivated, we receive inspiration. These are all great ideas, you guys. Yeah, see, so we never have to be sad or freaked out if an oil is out of stock, or if we don't have access to it, because there's just so many that we can use. Even just taking any of these, using cedarwood, using frankincense, anything that's inspiring to you. I mean, maybe you're inspired by, valerian. That's not the one that inspires me. The smell doesn't inspire me. I love it for sleep, but not for like smelly inspiration. But man, if that's your thing, if that's your jam, go for it, right? Maybe it's like lemon or citrus fresh. So just use whatever works for you. These oils are like, they're just so, they're just here to work for you. And oftentimes it's the intention that we use them with, right? If I were to grab something like spearmint, which I love to diffuse, but I'm not typically something I would think of as an inspiration oil. But if I were to apply this on myself and say, I am charging this with the intention of bringing inspiration into my life and into my heart right now, who knows? It might work, right? You never know. Okay. The emotions. See, now I'm looking at the chat. I'm not going to go back and repeat emotions, but I'll get the recording out and you guys can watch it as we go, because I want to make sure that we finish up before 1 o'clock. Okay, so our next oil in, hold on. I got to move the chat so I can move us along. Okay, next oil blend is Awaken. So how many of you are feeling stuck right now? Or feeling like you have goals and you have dreams and you have things you want to do, but you are just really struggling actually taking the steps towards making those happen. Like it's right there and you just don't have the energy for it. It's like, yeah, I want this, but I am just not able to go for it. I'm so curious how many of you feel like that. How many of you guys feel like you are in you're just kind of in survival mode right now? So anything that goes beyond survival mode is just too much. It's just like, I can't dream right now. I can't think I can bear. I'm just trying to figure out how to leave my house and, like what the rules are for today. It's just all of that, right? Yeah, a lot of you guys are in that space. Yeah. So we're going through a really crazy time right now. It's very unique, and please be kind to yourself and have grace for yourself. Because there's so much that we're dealing with on just a foundational survival level that sometimes things that we would normally say, oh, I want that, I'll just go for it, we just don't have the energy for. But we can use the oils to help us kind of maybe get into that space. So Awaken is going to be really supportive if you have goals and dreams and you just are not finding yourself able to move towards them, or maybe you just aren't even able to put yourself in the space to dream or to think about where to go. It could be your business goals. It could be, I was feeling like I wanted to expand my garden, and then I just kind of got stuck, and I'm like, oh, it feels like so much. I just don't know what to do. And then I used some Awaken to just be like, let me just do the first thing. Let me just do this next step. You might want to travel somewhere and you're just like, oh, I don't even know about booking tickets and where I should go and if it's going to work. Awaken. So Awaken helps you take the risks necessary to move forward. The emotions that Awaken is connected with are connecting interdimensionally, which I find so fabulous, expansion, and hopelessness. Those are some of the emotions that Awaken works with. So you can take Awaken. I'm actually going to put it here and rub it across your forehead from your right temple to your left temple. And I never remember why to go right to left. I had to ask Joanna Malone. I'm like, Joanna, remind me why we go right to left. She reminded me. It's to bring the subconscious up to the conscious mind, right? So a lot of times we hold our dreams and our visions and our knowingness subconsciously, and we don't actually bring it forward. So right to left. So I was like, how do I remember it's right to left and not left to right? Because I always get tripped up on details like that. So the way I just decided this morning to remember it is right has 5 letters in it, and the word start has 5 letters in it. So I'm going to start on the right because they both have 5 letters. And that's how I'll remember it probably for the rest of my life. I love those weird little tricks. It's the only way I can remember like little oil hacks. Okay, so that's Awaken. let's move on to our next one. So the next oil blend is gathering. And boy, if you haven't smelled gathering, you are in for a treat. Like, I know you can't smell through the computer, but if there was an oil blend you could smell through the computer screen, it would be gathering. Let me see if you can, let's see if it's coming through. I'm gonna waft it towards you. This one, okay, so what I think of when I think of gathering, I think of being in the airport. I think of the speaker on there telling me flight 2064 is boarding at this time. And I think of like the security agents being like, you have to take your jacket off, ma'am. And I think of the TVs blaring the news. And I think of the people like saying, you know, group 6, come on up and board. And I think of just all this messages coming at me from this place and this place and the sound and the people. And there's so many people around, and then you're packed in a plane and it's like so much energy. That's the feeling I get. And then I reach for gathering. Okay, so like it's the feeling too of like getting on your phone and realizing, oh my gosh, I have 4,000 emails and I have all these messages and I'm scrolling social media and this person's like asking me a question and that person's yelling at me and this person's complaining and that person is like all stressed out over something, and then my kids come in, and it's all that energy. It's that bombardment of information and opinions and sound and noise. And it can feel like you're just in this whirlwind, right? So gathering was designed to cut through the chaos, like literally cut through it with a knife and help you focus. Okay, so gathering was actually created. Gary Young was on an airplane and he was sitting next to 2 women, and they were telling him about this challenge of like, let me read exactly what he said. They asked him like, Gary, can you create a blend that cuts through the chaos? So he worked for 2 years to create gathering and to create a blend, right? Gary was always like, if there's a problem, I'll create an oil. If someone has something they need, I'll create an oil. And so gathering came out of that. So folks, we're living in very chaotic times, and we're living in times where just, it seems like it never stops, right? And so we can do things to take breaks, like we can take naps and we can go for walks and we can do our meditation and we can pray and all those things. And sometimes we just don't have the time or space to do that because we're in the middle of a situation that feels overwhelming, or we're on a Zoom call and there's just so much coming in, but we can't jump off and go meditate for a little bit. That's when we use gathering, okay? And it is like such a potent. I was on a plane once going to convention and someone passed the gathering around. I was like, wow, I really hope people who don't use oils on this plane like the smell of gathering, because it just permeated the whole plane. It was amazing. Okay, so this is going to help you focus on your own path, your own thoughts, your own way of doing things, regardless of what everyone else is telling you, what the news is telling you, what anyone else is saying. The emotions that are associated with gathering are having a bad feeling about something or feeling enslaved, right? Just so powerful. So I'm going to take gathering and I'm going to put it on my temples. You can put it wherever you would like, right? So if in your body, as I was talking about those situations like the airport and, you know, being on social media and feeling bombarded and chaotic, if you felt that somewhere in your body, wherever that was, put the gathering there. Maybe you felt it in your wrist. I don't know. Just listen to your body. It will tell you what to do. It knows what to do with these oils. Okay. All right. How are we doing? Just going to check the chat, see how everybody's doing. Diffusing it. Yeah, diffusing it is so wonderful, especially if people are coming home from school or from work or places where they've been around a lot of energy. And I feel like anytime you go in public right now, it's kind of like that. Diffusing gathering when bringing people home would be so good. Smells like pickles. That is the first time I've heard that, Amanda. That's awesome. Oh, thank you, Tina, for putting in all of the oils. I meant to mention all of them, and I knew that I wasn't going to get to it. So thank you, my dear friend. Okay, and again, if you don't have these oils, you know, Jennifer, if you don't have gathering, just think about what's an oil that helps me come back to myself, that cuts through like when I'm feeling chaotic and a little out of balance and like a little bit out of myself, out of my own space. Okay, humility. So humility is kind of a funny one, right? It's like nobody really ever wants to admit that they need to use humility oil, right? Like I remember when I saw this, I was like, oh dang, I don't need this. Like it felt like an ego gut punch to feel like someone would say, oh, you should try some humility oil. But I heard Gary talking about humility, this blend, and why he created it. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, right? I'm going to read you what he said, because I don't think Gary created this because he thought we were a bunch of egomaniacs that weren't humble. But he said, when we're humble, we're more in control of our emotions. And when we're feeling humility and emotional control, we're in a more teachable space. So I think about my youngest son. He's not a fan of math. He's actually really good at math. But when he starts to think too much about math, that's when things can get tricky. And then he's me, because as a child I was very perfectionistic, and if I made a mistake I would lose my mind. And he does that with math, right? He'll get one problem that doesn't work out immediately, and then we call him the rage monster. He just starts throwing stuff. He would be so horrified if he knew I was sharing this, but it was the best story I could think of for this blend. Anyway, when he gets into that mode, and I don't know if you guys have kids, or maybe you even have team members that you're coaching or working with, or I don't know, anybody, friends, family, when they kind of get so emotionally worked up and like freaked out that it doesn't matter what you say or how you say it, they're not going to hear you. They're not in a teachable space. My son, when he gets freaked out about math, I can't teach him. We have to take a break, and like he has to go outside and play hockey or run around, and then we come back because he can't hear me. So sometimes with us, we get into a place where we get so freaked out and emotionally worked up that we are not coachable anymore. And we might not hear what our mentor is saying as they're trying to help us like run our Young Living business. So we might not hear what a friend is trying to say when they're trying to actually give us some advice on what they're seeing or hearing. So humility is going to help us get into that coachable space. Gary says humility is very powerful when used with forgiveness and gathering. So isn't it so wonderful that he put it right after gathering in this protocol? The emotions that humility blend is tied to are being less than, not being good enough, or feeling tired. So I put this one on my ears. The ears, as you know, I need more. We're gonna do more than just one drop here. The ears are a map to the body. So if you think about the ears like a little baby that's curled up in the fetal position, and the earlobes here are the head, and then this is the spine wrapping around. You can kind of see that just by giving your ears a massage, especially around the outer edges and ridges, and then kind of working your way like into that top part, that's going to affect the whole body. We never put oils inside our ears. I know that almost all of you on here know this, but just in case this recording gets to somebody who's not used oils before, you're not going to be dripping it into the ears, just using it around, okay? So who's ready to start putting humility on before any coaching calls you have with people? Whether you're giving the coaching or you're receiving the coaching, this one is really, really good. Okay. I keep moving the chat in front of my little button that I need. Okay, Dreamcatcher. So we've got two more blends left. Dreamcatcher is like this luscious exotic blend of oils. It's got ylang ylang and sandalwood and tangerine, rose, jasmine. It's just the blue tansy. It's just so scrumptious. It's so good. So Dreamcatcher is really created to help you. Gary was talking about just how do we daydream again? You know, like how do we dream? How do we just like sit there and like let our mind wander so we can see like, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go? Who do we want to be? Gary did that so much. I mean, look at what he created. There's no way he created what he created without daydreaming all the time and just being like, what's possible? So, you know, as adults, we lose the ability to daydream. We think of it as frivolous and like, oh, that's a waste of time. And we're always trying to be so productive, but we're missing that intuition that comes in when we take the time to dream. So Gary said this blend helps us daydream and take a little mini mind vacation is what he called it. It also helps as you're having dreams at night too, to kind of filter out some of the negative messages that come out to allow you to tap into what do I actually need to take from this dream state from this message. So you can use this in your diffuser at night. You could put it on your pillow. Again, here, I'm just thinking like, where do you dream from, right? So I'm gonna just put this over my heart right now. I will give you 2 quick diffuser recipes that I love with Dreamcatcher at night. I love Dreamcatcher with Clarity and Palo Santo. So good, so good. If you want crazy dreams, Dreamcatcher, Clarity, and Palo Santo. And the other one that I love, if you want like more of a restful night's sleep, is Dreamcatcher with orange and cedarwood. Those are really, really good. Okay, oh, the emotions. Emotions with Dreamcatcher are competitiveness and also fear of manifesting. So, delicious, so good. Alrighty, so I'm so curious, since we don't have pillows here probably, where did you put your Dreamcatcher? Where did you apply it? Let me know. Sandra didn't dream at night until you use Dreamcatcher. Yeah, you'll remember your dreams so strongly when you use this. Third eye, oh, that's a good spot. Heart, nostrils, nice. Holding it under your nose. Chest, cool. Awesome, guys. You're doing so well. Okay, we have 1 blend left, and then we're gonna go through the protocol from start to finish so you can see the whole process through. Okay, so our last blend is White Angelica. So we're all energy, all of us. Everything is energy. And sometimes we can notice that somebody else's energy can come into our space and it doesn't feel so good, right? Like you can go out and be talking to a neighbor. You were having a great day, but your neighbor was having a crappy day. And all of a sudden you walk away from them and you're feeling crappy too. That's because their energy came into your energy field and influenced it. So a great thing to start doing is just getting into the habit of protecting your own energy, not just when you go outside, but even when you get on Zooms, before you get on phone calls with people, throughout the day. If you notice that maybe family members are kind of in a funky space and you're picking up on that, protecting your energy is important. And one of the easiest ways to do that is with White Angelica. This is, again, this is like a heavenly blend. Smells so good. So I like to do this. I like to put a couple drops in my palm, and then I like to do it like a shield all over my body. So I'll rub it down my arms, I'll rub it down the front of my body, and then up the back of my body as high as I can reach. Teresa, I need your selfie stick for this. Just kind of making this, it's like a cloud, and it's not like I'm not keeping other people out. I'm just protecting my space, right? Just protecting your space. So smart to do. Just looking. So I know a lot of you on here are highly sensitive people, and you're empathic, meaning you when someone else feels something, you notice it, like you pick up on that. Some of you have children who are this way, and they pick up on everything. And so White Angelica is when you're going to want to just have them everywhere, and just teach your kids how to put it on, how to create their shield before they go to school or soccer practice or wherever they go. It's going to basically like seal in all of your own energy. So you're working from a really grounded space. And oh gosh, the list of emotions with White Angelica is crazy. So this is associated with emotions, being able to work with emotions of disharmony, greed, loneliness, feeling pathetic, feeling rejected, the emotion of like relentless, resolution, shame, sympathy, and weakness. So again, like this little bottle, all those things that it can like help you play with and experiment with and move out of when you're ready. It's just really, really cool. So let me know how you use White Angelica. I would love to see. Suzanne, yes, empaths, it can get very intense for empaths right now, especially when you have not just like the normal world, but then you have the social media world too. Energy coming from a post or a comment can be just as intense as something coming from someone's mouth when they're standing across from you, for sure. Okay, so let's do this. We are going to, I have this little cheat sheet for you guys. And you can take a screenshot of this. This is the whole protocol from beginning to end with the little reminders. We're going to do it together one more time, just so you can see the flow from beginning to end. And you know what I love to do too is I love to just say different things to myself as I put the oils on. So I'll just, I don't know, I don't plan them, I just say them, but we'll see what comes out of my mouth today. But you're welcome to use some intentional words with it too as we go. Okay, so we're going to start from the very beginning. We're going to take our sacred mountain. We're going to apply it to the brainstem or wherever you want to apply it. And I'm going to say, I tap into my sacred knowingness. I am a sacred being. I'm a sacred being of light. Oh, we've got some people drawing on the, don't draw on the protocol, guys. Don't draw on the protocol. All right, that is our sacred mountain. We're going to take our inspiration. Hold on one second. Let me just, I'm going to mute everybody. Okay. Oops, let me go back. Okay, we're going to take our inspiration and we're going to put that on the crown of our head. So just part your hair, just put it on the top of your head. You can put as many drops as you would like. Move it around. And today I'm going to tell myself I receive inspiration from unexpected places. I'm open to inspiration from wherever it may come. I'm open to my own inspiration that comes from my heart and my knowingness. Sometimes when you admit that you're open to your own inspiration, it can get a little intense. Right. Okay, awaken. We're going to take awaken. We're going to put it across our foreheads from right to left, right? We start on the right and we cross it over. I awaken to my potential. I awaken to things I can't even see yet. I awaken to all the things that are waiting for me in my life right now. I awaken to my beauty, and I awaken to my power. Sometimes I just will sit there and smell them for like a long time. So do the protocol quickly, but sometimes if certain oils just like really get you and you just want to hang with them for a while, and that's okay. All right, gathering. We're going to take gathering. We're going to put it on our temples. Remember, gathering cuts through the chaos. So we're literally going to be, it's almost like I'm envisioning like I'm putting like blinders on here, like blinders that just keep me focused on what I am doing, right? So I gather myself back into me. I cut through the chaos. I find my own purpose and my own meaning. So good. That one is so good, you guys. Oh my gosh. So good. Okay, humility. This is all about being coachable, being able to listen, being able to hear, being able to receive guidance. We're going to put this all around our ears. It's all around the ear ridges. I am coachable and I am receptive. I am teachable. I am always in student mode. I'm open to receiving from other people, from myself, from the universe. Oh man, who's already feeling like different from putting all these on? We still have 2 more to go, right? Okay. If anyone's going out in public, everyone will ask about your aroma. Yeah, they will. And so this is the beautiful thing, right? We all want to create change in the world. We all want to be change agents and make things better. And sometimes we wonder, how do we do that? And just by being a diffuser, a walking diffuser, and being out in the world, you do that. And honestly, guys, you can just sit in your office or your living room or your car, wherever you are, and after you put on these oils and you've shifted your energy and your frequency, that literally ripples out like ripples on a pond. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to call someone and even tell them, wow, I just did this. Although you should, because don't we want everybody doing this? But like, you can just be you and let these oils do their work on your energy, and your energy shifts. And everyone, the whole world, it's not just like the people you know, like this, what we're doing right now, all of us together, is creating an energetic shift in the whole world. So cool, right? So powerful. It's so amazing. And for those of us who are introverts, we don't even have to leave the house to do it. So it's like a win-win. Okay, dream catcher. So we're gonna take dream catcher. Again, you usually put this on the, your pillow or in your diffuser at night. So you can just put this wherever you want, right? Somebody said they put it over their third eye. So I'm gonna try that too. I'm just gonna kind of like, you can put it, if you have long hair like I do, or put it in your hair, right? Like pull it through, and then as you move your hair throughout the day, it's gonna waft around and you just get this like little whisk of dream catcher. So how about it is safe for me to dream. It is safe for me to dream big. I'm open to dreaming bigger than I ever have before. Maybe it's just, hey, I want to remember my dreams tonight. Whatever message you're telling yourself is just exactly right. Okay, white angelic is the last one. We're going to shield ourselves up again. You might find if you're really, and don't be stingy with your oils, guys. Like at the beginning, I used to be like, oh, I'm only going to use a drop. This is the shield, right? So down the front of the body, up the back, down your arms. At the beginning, I used to be like, oh my gosh, they're such little bottles. I'm just going to use a drop. And then that was just such a scarcity mindset, right? So it's so interesting somehow, sometimes when we're in an abundant mindset, how the oils just like, they seem to just kind of go on forever. I don't know, sometimes that happens. But don't be stingy. Like sometimes if you're in a space where you need a lot of shifts, you need a lot of oils. So, like using a tiny little dab and then being like, why didn't anything happen? Well, you used a tiny little thing. Like maybe you might need to slather it on. You might need to really like pour them on. Kind of depends on where you're at. So that is the protocol. And you can see how fast it is to do when you're doing, even if you take time to smell them and breathe them and do your whatever you want to say to yourself intentionally. You can also just quickly, throw them on, and it's really fast. I would love to know what you, oh, Lori, the kink in your neck is gone. That's amazing. I would love for you guys to actually, if you can, like, and we're going to go through some other options in a second, so don't jump off just yet, but can you verbalize what it was that this did for you, right? Like go beyond the, this was amazing, or this was awesome, or this feels great. This is part of the process of letting these oils start tuning into your deeper knowingness. So if you had to describe it more tangibly or more specifically for yourself, how would you describe it? And just take a second and just, you might need to sit with yourself for a second, right? So we're always moving on from thing to thing. So let's all just take a minute for a second for a minute, whatever we want to do. Close your eyes for a second, put your feet firmly planted on the ground, and go ahead and take one deep breath in, all the way down to your belly. Let it out. And then let's do that one more time. And go ahead and let it out. We're going to do 2 more breaths like that. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears as you're doing so. And one more deep breath in. Taking 4 deep breaths like that can completely shift the way that you feel, even with or without oils. So if you ever caught somewhere without oils, do 4 deep breaths. So now take a minute to tune in and ask my body, what was it that just happened for me as I did that protocol? What was it that shifted physically, emotionally? What message is coming in for me? What am I to know about this experience? For myself. You don't have to put it in the chat if you don't want to. Just ask for yourself. If you want to put it in the chat, you're welcome to as well. Okay. More easily take a breath. Feel connected, peace and openness. A renewed direction. Nice. Feeling grounded in the moment and present. Opened you way up. Nice, Cheryl. Awesome. Awesome. Reminded to slow down, relaxed, present. Gratitude, utter gratitude, not just gratitude, utter gratitude. Awesome. Amazing. A puddle. I hope that's a good puddle. Renew clarity to share your authentic self and dream bigger than you have been. Awesome, Christine. Sherry feels high. Great. Okay, so let me share with you a couple options. Some of you are going to want to take this protocol and do it every single day for 30 days, and you're going to want to journal while you do it. And you're going to want to start at the beginning and do an assessment. Here's how I'm feeling going into this. Here are the emotions that I'm typically feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. Here's how good or bad I'm feeling typically throughout my life. You're going to do the protocol all the way through like we just did it every day for 30 days. And you're going to journal as you go through, because the shifts are probably going to happen so fast and so unexpectedly that you're going to just zip right by them. You're not even going to notice that they happen. So journal every day about what's coming up for you, what you're being called to do, what you're being called to not do, who you're being called to reach out to, shifts in your way of being in the world. Some of you are going to say, once a day is too much for me. So then just do it once a week, right? Maybe on Sundays you sit down and you do the protocol. Maybe you just do it once a month. I wouldn't go to once a year, because that's really not gonna, that's gonna be like going to the gym once a year. Like it's gonna be great that one time, but not really creating what I know can happen with this protocol. Maybe you're like, oh, I'd love to be with these oils and be like in relationship with them like every single day because I love them so much, but I can't do all 7. So the beautiful thing is there's 7 oil blends. So you could do one oil, one part of the protocol every single day. And by the end of the week, you'll be at all 7. You could diffuse Sacred Mountain on Sundays, Inspiration on Mondays, Awaken on Tuesdays, and just diffuse a different blend every single day of the week. And by the end of the week, you will have diffused all of them. Last but not least, I'd say you could make a roller with all of these in there with some carrier oil. You could bring it around with you and you could use it, but I think there's something very magical and special and powerful about experiencing them and developing individual relationships with each of the blends. I really think like the oils are like my friends, right? Like I've got different relationships with all of them. So if you're just starting out with this, do them individually so you can build those relationships and see what they're trying to bring to you. Okay, so if I don't think that we had, where did my graphic go? Well, there was a graphic over there of the basic starter kit. So let me just share with you, if you are sharing this recording with somebody who's not yet with Young Living, or if you are somebody watching this recording, you don't have Young Living oils or a Young Living account yet, there's a really easy way that you can get these oils that we talked about today. There's kind of like a good, better, best. So good, you could go on to youngliving.com and you could say, buy just a bottle of Awaken. Maybe that was the one that spoke to you and you say, I just want a bottle of Awaken. So you could do that. You could buy any of these individually or just buy a couple of them, but you're going to be buying them at retail prices. You can do that, but that's not what I would do because I hate paying retail for anything. So a better way is to get one of the Young Living starter kits. When you get a Young Living starter kit, then that's going to unlock the 24% wholesale discount. So the graphic you can't see over there, and I'm not sure why it was on the left, was of the basic starter kit. It's a $35 kit. It has a bottle of Stress Away. It has some Thieves samples. And once you purchase that kit, any of these Seventh Heaven oils that you add to that order will be at the 24% wholesale discount. So that's a really great way to kind of like a quick, cheap entry point into the wholesale. That way you're not paying full price for your Seventh Heaven oils. The other option, which you can see on the right, is the premium starter kit, where you get a diffuser, which is great because then you can start diffusing these oils, get them in the air in your home, be just smelling them all the time. You're also going to get 12 of Young Living's most popular, like multitasking oils, like frankincense and lavender and peppermint and lemon, like the ones that we use all the time. That kit's $165. So it's more expensive than the basic starter kit, but you're going to get your diffuser and you're going to get all sorts of other oils that you can use, not just for the emotional aspect of life, but the physical and just like day-to-day needs of your household too. So either of those kits will get you wholesale pricing on any of your Seventh Heaven oils, and you can add those into that first order. The best way though, and I know a lot of you guys on here already use Young Living, so if you are going to be ordering any of these Seventh Heaven oils, the best way is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to do your ordering through the Essential Rewards program. I know that's going to get a new name in a little bit. It's going to be called the Loyalty Rewards program. But if you're going to be getting these oils, you want to be getting points for them, right? So every time you order through the loyalty program, through Essential Rewards, you're going to be earning points back on these oils. So 10% back for the first 3 months that you order. Months 4 through 24, you get 20% back. And then after you've been ordering monthly for 2 years, you're earning 25 points back. So the cool thing about that is as you earn those points, you can then cash them in for free products. So say you've been doing the Seventh Heaven protocol for a couple months and all of a sudden you're like close to running out of Sacred Mountain. Well, if you've been ordering these oils on Essential Rewards, you can cash in your points and maybe get your Sacred Mountain for free, right? So Essential Rewards is not just for oils though, because those of you guys who are Young Living fans, you know, like they have makeup and they have supplements and they have skincare and they have 600 plus products. So my monthly order is not just oils like this, but it's also my cleaner, my detergents, my soaps, all those things that our family uses and used to buy from other places go into my order. So if you haven't gotten started with Essential Rewards yet, you're gonna wanna do that so that you can get these oils at your wholesale pricing and also start earning your points. Okay, so I'm gonna just take a moment for questions. I'm going to stop my screen share because I actually want to see all of your faces. Okay. So I want to look at this chat too. Are there any questions that you guys have about this protocol before we hop off today? You're right, over 700 products. They just keep adding and adding. Oh, the recording. So I'm gonna, I will email out the recording to anybody who registered through Eventbrite. So if you registered through Eventbrite, you'll get that. I know some people's Eventbrite emails were going to spam, so just check your spam folder. And I'm also gonna post it, I think I'm also just gonna post it right on my Facebook page too, so that people can access it there. Let's see, any other questions? I feel like I'm floating so high now, I'm kind of having trouble talking, if I'm really being honest with you guys. Whew. So I'm so curious for our Malaysia and Philippine folks who are like, it's now like 1 a.m. for you. Like, are you guys feeling like you're going to be able to go to sleep? Or are you feeling like you're going to pull an all-nighter? Like, tell me how you feel. Oh, hold on, guys. 1 second. Let me put something in the chat for you guys. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start to cry when I share this with you. Hold on. Oh, why can I not send it to everybody? Why am I only able to send, oh, here we go. Okay, so I love presenting this class, but Gary presented this protocol and there's a recording of him. And man, this is the Seventh Heaven. See, this is what it does to you. I don't ever do this. Well, sometimes I do, but not usually. So we all miss Gary, right? And there's something about hearing him talk about this with his energy. And he's going to use a lot of the words that I use because I basically teach this class from his recording, but there's something about his energy and how grounded and rooted he was, and his passion for these oils that just like slays me every time. So I'm going to put this in the chat. I want everyone to, at some point, grab your oils, and when you do the protocol, listen to Gary talking you through the protocol, because he was just such an amazing man. And I think this is from James Nederland's Essential Oil Therapies. I think this is from James Nederland's website. He's the one who captured that recording from Gary. So James, thank you so much for doing that, because anytime we can go back to our roots and remember where we came from, like where these oils came from. There was a man who sat there for 2 years trying to make this for 2 women on a plane who said, we need some help with the chaos. And now we all have this. And let us never, ever, ever discount what we have in these oils, ever. So yeah, Kristen, just hearing his voice is like so powerful. So please make time to listen to that. I want to thank you so much for being here, for letting me test out my Canva presentation for the first time. I think it worked. And for spending more than this hour with me. I really appreciate it. And when the recording comes out, please just send it out. Whoever needs this, share it with your team, share it with people who aren't part of Young Living yet. Oh, I totally forgot to say, okay, hold on, let me go back, because I was covering it. I couldn't see it on the slide. If somebody invited you to this Zoom, you probably saw on that slide, it had my member number on there at the bottom. If I invited you to the Zoom, you can come to me, I can help you get these oils. If somebody else invited you here, don't use my number. Go back to the person who brought you here and invited you here to the Zoom or sent you this recording and ask them for their referral number, because Young Living is a referral company, right? It's a referral-based business. So whoever loved you enough to send you this recording or bring you here, they wanted to bless you with this. You are meant to start Young Living with them. So go back to them and say, hey, I want to get my Seventh Heaven oils. Can I have your referral link, or can I have your referral number? And they will help you get started. They'll help you pick out which starter kit, or whether you want retail, or however you want to do it. And we're switching to our new website soon. So pretty soon, the way you'll get started will be a little bit different than what you probably heard tonight. So go back to the person who brought you here, and they can help you figure out exactly what, the best way for you to get going. So I forgot to mention that, because I had all your faces at the bottom and it was blocking that part of the slide, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned that to everybody. So, all right, everyone, go have a magnificent day. Love you all so much, and thank you so much for being here with me, and go enjoy your protocols. Bye, everybody.